Hello, everyone. Well, today I have a special guest. I got my girl from Atlanta here on the Zoom call with me. If you're looking for a great agent in Atlanta, go ahead and reach out to her. So today we're going to go over how to edit videos in iMovies. This is the way I edit my videos. Don't get overwhelmed. It's nothing spectacular, but like I always say, I'm not a videographer. I help people find homes and sell their homes for the most amount possible. This works. It's the message that I need to get out. So don't worry about it and definitely don't overcomplicate it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. That way I can show you. Oh, I was working on a deal there. So what I did can you see that okay, Joan?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So this is my,
having
yeah, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. So here's, as you can see, a lot of my little videos. I do videos for my buyers on my Central Florida Homes channel, and I also do it for my agents. Like I do little PDFs and I'll include videos or on my channel. So as you get going with this, you can find many ways to use videos. But I just use iMovies, which is down here. It's a little purple star, comes on all Macs. I know if you don't have, or I don't know, but I believe if you don't have a Mac, you still get a free editor. I've purchased several editors and it always came back to iMovies. And then finally I just said, I'll just use iMovies. I've been using them for years and I make a fortune from using this free software. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great. Yeah. So why fight it? I experienced everything and I'm like, this works just great. So the first thing after you open it is it'll come up. Yours probably most likely wouldn't have these videos. And the first thing you just click on this here, this little X, and I click on movies. And now I get a new blank slate. And at first I remember this was very confusing because I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do with this? Well, once you make your video, whether it be with a camera or some software, like I use Vimeo and I'll record my screen. Either way, whatever I do, I end up putting it on my desktop on my computer. I just find it the easiest to find. And then I also remember to delete it when I'm done with the original footage. You can save it to hard drives. I know people do different things. I just prefer to delete it. And I saved some on, I was doing a video for a PDF I added for my real estate agents to explain the Eisenhower matrix. So I left that on my desktop. I'll go ahead and import it now to show you how to do that. So I make sure my movie is highlighted. And then I go up here to this arrow. If you forget, it even tells you to import it from wherever you have it. If I have a SD card in, of course, that would be here. When I have an SD card, when I had it from my camera, how to get off my camera, I put it into my Mac and then pull it from there. But this one I have on oh my gosh, I have a lot of stuff on my laptop. I don't remember what I called it. I think it's Eisenhower Matrix. Let's see.
I saw Eisenhower matrix above.
There it is. Thank you. Oh yeah, gotta clean up my desktop. Yep, that's it. Just obviously import. And that's the little video. As soon as it's in here, if you're transporting it, or maybe it's really large, it may take a moment. You'll see a little sand dial going, but in this, I can see it's already done. And I can either drag it down here because I want it here. This is where I'm going to edit it.
Okay.
Or just pick on this little crosshairs or this cross and it'll pop it down there for me. So now this is where I want it. This is where I can work with it. I'll show you other things we can do with this area up here in a minute. But this is kind of small to work with. So I go over here to the right where it says settings and I move this up. Sometimes I go really large because I need to see these gaps where I quit talking. Sometimes I'll talk and I'll make that little smack sound. I can't stand it. So I'll want to edit that out and I have to really get in there close so it doesn't ruin the video. But for this, I'll just make it so I can see most of it. Usually the beginnings and the end of your video, you're going to want to cut some of it off. There's two ways that I know, well, a couple ways I know you can do that. But the easiest way to do it is you just where you want. I know there's nothing talking here. This is where I'm talking, where you
How
see
can
that.
you tell that it's nothing's talking here?
Well, I'm gonna also, well, I'll play it for one. And to play it, it's real neat. I just put this white bar at the beginning and then I hit the space bar. So have you ever, could you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. And then to stop it, I hit the space bar. And you could also do it here. So much, or, I just find it easier for me. I just hit the space bar to stop and start it. So I don't have a long, blank, boring beginning, or maybe depending on the video, maybe I'm set, like I'm reaching for the camera. I want to cut out the part where I'm reaching. I want to cut that out. So I'm going to cut it right about here, a few seconds in. And the way I found easiest to cut it is I do Control B. I'm not why it's B, but it's Control B. Because I can't even remember. It's been so long. I'm sure you can use some of these tools up here to cut it, but I've been using Control B for so long. It's super easy. You can see I'm going to delete the yellow part. You got to be careful because sometimes this will be highlighted. You don't want to delete that. I want to delete this little part. So once that's cut and it's highlighted, then I just hit my delete key. So now I got rid of that beginning. And then what I normally do, I'll hit the space bar so it'll play. Have you ever had soap? It'll keep playing and I'll watch it. And maybe like right here, make it a little bigger. Oh, I lost it. I might find myself on like I'm making that smack sound or something. Or just maybe I might go, not thinking, I want to cut those little aggravating sounds out. Or perhaps I think in this video, I was thinking. So I kept recording while I was thinking what I wanted to say. I can't find it. Maybe it's here, this blank spot, and it's too much of a long pause. You can leave it, or I like to keep my videos clean. I would Command B. I would just cut out the
blank spots.
Right. So I don't have, because you want to keep people's attention. Have you ever, and then hit delete. In case I deleted the wrong spot, I'm like, oh gosh, no, I want that back. I'll go up to the edit and just undo delete. Well, now I got the splits. Okay, well, I just keep editing, undo. It'll undo everything as long as you hadn't saved it. The way to save it is just get out. So it's pretty user-friendly as far as stuff like that. So that's how you can pretty much like cut out your main errors. Like usually at the end too, you might have a little something you might want to edit it out. If you don't, for some reason, want to cut it or such a small, you can also drag it. You can drag it and that'll cut it out.
Okay.
That's what's nice too. And it'll stop when you can. So you have your video. Now you know how to kind of cut out some of the worst parts. I wouldn't worry in the beginning too much about your little ums and smacks. You don't want to be stressing too much about editing your video. But so those are just some examples I was giving. And as you get better, just make it as good, or perfect it as much as you like. At the end of all my videos, I like to put my website. So I go up here to transitions and this is just me. You can use anything you like. I do a cross blur right there. And I'll show you in a second what I put after it. Then I go to titles. This is just, you can use any of these you want, of course, or none, or do it however you want. But I figured, hey, I know a lot of people go to my Central East Coast Homes website, the channel I have for my buyers. And then my real estate one, I always put VeronicaEdwards.com right there. That's
okay.
I make sure it stayed. I just hit enter. I always make sure to say one time I uploaded it actually to YouTube and it said add text here. I was like, oh, it didn't stay. The nice thing is you can make that a little longer if you like, or shorter. I don't have it too long, but long enough so people can copy it down or make sure they read it.
Okay.
Okay, so you have that. So sometimes I'm like, okay, well, here I'm done talking. Now this is just plain. So I add music. It's optional, but if you're maybe driving through a neighborhood and you're just driving, you might want to have some music in the background. And I'm going to get out of this one. I'll show you on a better one.
Okay.
I have to name it test. Let me just show you this. So Here's one that is for my buyers, my Central Florida Homes channel. That's completely done that I've uploaded.
So
You can
all those clips at the top, are those just where you just stopped, took a little bit of footage and started another one, just different clips?
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to, YouTube likes, most of my videos on my channel are 3 to 5 minutes because you don't want to drag them out where people are like, oh my gosh, this is painful. Like you want to get to the point. You want to make the video so they want to stay. So I'm trying to this year make them a little longer, but still entertaining. So I went out, it was New Year's Day. The weather was, I think it was almost got to 80 degrees, no humidity. It was a beautiful day. So I said I'd go to 2 places, a popular Tanger outlet where there's beautiful subdivisions nearby, in the flea market. And that's how I was able to get it. You can see right here to almost 9 minutes and 58 seconds. And this video does pretty well. People seem to like the ones where you're outside. So here I went, I'm doing my intro, letting you know what a beautiful day it was. I popped it down here. Doesn't look like I edited anything because you can see this orange bar.
Yeah.
I'm sure I cut off the beginning and then I cut off the end, I'm sure. And then I had a thought when I was at the stoplight. I said it was 80 degrees and it wasn't, it was 79. So I'm showing them that in my car. And then here, I'm going to be driving around, I forgot. Oh, I'm driving around the outlet and I'll show you I'll start the music just a little when I'm finishing talking. And then I'll just play it for a second. It is 79 degrees at 1:06 p.m. Come on, let's go to the Tanger outlet. See how I started the music?
Yes.
Because that would be really boring, just me driving around with nothing. You see, just driving.
Makes sense.
Right. And I
love
speed
it.
this. So I make it so it's not startling. I drag the music in so it kind of blends in. Then it gets to a certain level, 56. Someone once said my music was too loud. So I'm always very cautious not to have it too loud. Right. And then the video would be kind of boring. I'm not doing 80, of course. So I speed it up. And how you can speed it up is this. I'm going to move us out of the way. Sorry. Is this little, looks like a speed, like something in your car, and it says speed. Yes. So I click on the video. And you can play with these. I've tried freeze frame and stuff, but I usually just go to custom and I just make it 120%. It's a little, and you can play with the percentage. Sometimes if it's a really long drive, I might try and push 130. Because again, I'm trying to keep their attention, but I'm trying to show them everything. But this one, since it's, go ahead. Did you have a question?
Yes. So when you get those clips, how do you connect them?
Oh, sure. So since I already have this video, so what I did is this one, I think is at the end. So what I did, sorry. So this was this video. I just drop it down. I can do it again. So I would just pull this video down. I imported it from, my computer or my laptop. I'm trying to move out, put us over here. I imported it from wherever it was and I put it here. So it was probably on my desktop at one point and I brought it in, which I already have. I deleted it. So when I get everything up here that I want, I always do like a subscribe button too. Then I drop them down. Did you see? I just drop it down.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll just delete that one because that's great. Okay. And then my next, so I knew when I was making my video, I knew the order it was going to be. And actually they pretty much come in the same order. So then I'm driving, that's probably this one. I just drag it down. And then to make the transition, I did that. I go to so it's fine, but I like to transition them in the cross dissolve. Sometimes I'll do, especially if I'm doing a talking head and I'm making points like in number 2, well, I might do like a cube. It's not live. See, now I'm a cube. It's just preference, add a little flair to it. Again, I'm not a videographer, but I like adding a little here,
Okay,
thing.
I see it.
Yeah. So I just Or maybe you're like, I don't want the cube, do the swap. That's a cute one. And now it swaps.
Okay. I
I
like
think
how
I'm just, yeah. So those are nice transitions, but usually towards the end, you don't really want to let them know you're ending the video. So see at the end, I didn't do one because I want them to stay on. I transitioned from here. The end, I'm always so nervous because you don't want people like, oh, she's done. Let me just sign off the video. You don't want them to know you're done. You got to make it real quick. And at the end, I always do my call to action and I put a title. You can do this wherever you want. I said, I just do it at the end. I also ask them to subscribe at the end. I don't think I should really ask in the beginning until they're sure they like me or, they want to subscribe. Like, let me see the video, then I'll let you know. But everybody has their own. I figured better ask than not. But at the end, I always do it's a title. Mine is this one down here. It's gradient black. And you just really pop it down there. You can make it as long as you want. And you just double click or double click here. And that's when I write my name. And I write my email there because I want them to email me. I prefer email over a call because I can get to it if I'm busy. But sometimes I call, so I put that there, like you'll see here. I put a call text, but I put my email because I'm always hoping they'll email me instead of calling me. And that's my little call to action. At the same time, I'm saying, if you're looking to move or relocating, go ahead, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. Just know I got your back. And then there goes that, and it's done. And then I put the music again, the same song. The music, though, I don't know if you're aware of this. I pay for it, or you can use YouTube's free music. Because if you don't, you can get demonetized, meaning, I guess, one, I don't want to get on YouTube's bad side. And two, I don't know if they'll push it out. And three, you'll never be able to make money. Some people can run ads eventually. You can make money. If it's not music you paid for, you can't do it. So I pay for Epidemic Sound. You can use it unlimited as much as you want.
Epidemic Sound.
Yeah, I think, and it's like a little over $100 a year. Can't remember. I have it for both of my channels. Kind of just figure be safe than sorry. But if you're kind of starting out, you're not sure. YouTube has, and I used it in the beginning of my videos. I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm just gonna buy my music. They do have some sounds, and it's free. It's on their channel. It's under music. You can use theirs too for when you're doing like a driving scene, or sometimes even I'll put a 1%. I'll put a sound here and I'll put it down to. Usually, like if I'm in my studio like I am now, if I do a sound, I may put it behind me talking, but I'll lower it. But you can lower this.
So when you drop it lower, it comes behind your voice?
Yeah, you can do that. So say, because I'm outside. Oh, that was that junk? That's a flea market. I have, you can see my voices right here. I usually don't touch the volume on that. But say I was sitting here in the studio, it's a little more boring. So I try to make it a little more, and I'll put music behind me, but I'll put it maybe 1 or 2%. See if you can hear it. Rows and rows of vendors. You can hear a little bit. This one I didn't do it. Like I said, usually if I'm sitting here, just to make it a little more. But I put it very, very low so that you can hear me clearly talking.
Typically, how long does it take you to edit a video after you've shot all your footage?
Okay, so this one I went out, after, I don't remember how long it took me to, I walked around that mall. So as soon as I got back, I was like, let me just upload it. Once I got it in, and I'm like, I'll just, so I remember, so this probably took me an hour, if that. But I remember in the beginning, sometimes it take me a couple days. It's nice, because then I'm like, well, I'm almost done. Let me just finish. Because I have it down pat, and you will too. I know, how to fuse. I remember to fuse them together, to put the title, to put the subscribe now. Sometimes I forget that, or I deliberately leave it off. And then my little website down here, and I see a lot of people use it. But maybe I have a video that, again, is like a talk. Let me see if I have one where I'm here in my studio, like this one. That's my real estate, but that's a nice look. All right, well, say this one, and you can see here, I'm talking, but I'm in my studio. I put music behind it, but I put it at 2%. It's just really softly playing because it's not as exciting when I sit in my studio. But maybe I might, I don't think I did, but maybe I wanted to show something. Like a lot of times I'll do a map if I'm talking about a certain subdivision, and I'll place Google Maps over here. So I can say it's located close to the highway, or maybe it's close to the beach, and I'll put a map there. Or let's see, here's one. So those are my B-rolls. Those are when you take, they're all videos. I'm trying to find one. Those are all little videos. So I would just take like a photo and pop it. This is actually another video, but you can, put it over, like say that was an edit. I didn't want people to see I made a split there. I would just put a photo or another video over it. I am so excited. See, and it's just this year. It's just talking. Those are called your B-rolls. I usually like these I got from Canva. They just help kind of spice up the video a little bit.
Okay.
Make it a little more attractive. So it's not just you sitting there, just talking away. Or sometimes I do, like in this one, it's just me talking away for 2 minutes and 34 seconds. I guess I didn't feel I needed anything else. So those are some of the things. So you got your media. Let's see, here we go. All right.
So I have a question about your music. So your music, is it the music, the original artist, or the cover songs?
It is. They're not going to be anyone you're going to hear on the radio today or anything like that, though. Epidemic Sound. So here I can show you my music actually. Here, and sometimes I get lazy and I just keep reusing the same songs because I know and I just want to get through the video. I put them in order of length. It's like this video is 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Well, I don't really want to use 2 or 3 videos. So maybe I'll go down to like the 5-minute, which are hard to find sometimes. And if I'm doing that one might be too mellow. So maybe I'd want to use something with just no words, just the instrument. Or if it's driving, I may do the ones, I think this is so it's in the so that one I could put behind here because I'm driving, I'm not talking, and I want to keep them entertained. And sometimes I'll get comments on my videos like, oh, I love your music. Nice. But they're nobody you've heard of. Like, I don't know who Chase, maybe somebody's heard of. I don't know who these people are. These are the artists. It's like, yeah, so I don't think on Epidemic Sound you could find like a top 40 song that's on the radio right now. But I can search for, sometimes I want like a piano, like a little piano sound or something. Because maybe the video is kind of just lay back, relaxing. So maybe I just want that like on 1 or 2%. Sometimes I'll send out birthday videos, like wishing somebody a happy birthday. And I'll have that behind it. That might be like a little personal email one to a client or something. So that's the fun part. You can, get certain, sometimes because I live in Daytona Beach, I feel I should do a lot of beachy ones. So I have quite a few calypso and reggae beach, because we have Margarita latitudes here, and I did a bunch of videos on that before too. So it's
enlightening.
What's that?
I say it's really enlightening. I
good.
To start doing it myself.
I think you can, and you see it's not that much. The main thing would be, okay, so you know how to import it into your, put it up here. Like this is everything. This is a subdivision I did a talking head at the beginning, just me saying, hey, I'm going to take you around the subdivision. Then I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I I was obviously in a hurry when I did this video, because sometimes I may do a talk over. I might say, and to do that, it's easy too. I could show you that. Say I was, which watch this music, it'll drop. Okay, I'm just gonna say something like, so say if I wanted to put something in here to break it up some more, I'll go ahead and try it. It should let me while we're on Zoom. Okay, as you can see, this is a nice, beautiful, shady neighborhood, real peaceful place to raise a family. Stop it. What it did, look at what it did. It put my voice and it dropped the music. I'll show you. Okay, as you can see, this is a nice, beautiful, shady neighborhood, real peaceful place to raise a family. And then the music will go back up. Isn't that nice? It just,
It is,
yeah.
but is it where a way to have the music low playing behind the voiceover?
It did. It dropped the music down itself. Did you see that?
Wait.
You want me to put it back?
I saw it, but I couldn't hear the music when you were talking.
Yeah, I don't know on Zoom. I think sometimes. So here's the music, this top one.
Right.
A lot of times I'll record first and then put the music behind, but since this video has already been done, and of course, that's not what I would say in the videos, just for an example. But see the music right here on the top one? See how it dips? It dipped. So when I don't know if you can hear on our Zoom call, but when I started talking, the music dipped, because here's me talking, this bar down here, and then it raised back up. So it does it for you. Yep, you just hit the record. It even gives you that countdown like you've seen, 3, 2, 1, and then you start talking. And you can even edit this. Like it took me a second to start talking. I can move that in. Yeah, you can even edit your voice a little bit. If you don't like it, just highlight it, delete it, do it again. Or sometimes, like I said, I'm in a hurry. I guess I was on this one. It wasn't very long too. I just played the music, did a subscribe now, did my outro, kind of like, hey, I probably said something like, hey, hope you really found this beautiful neighborhood too, like I said. And then if you're looking to move or relocate, give me a call, all that. Here's my website. And that was my video. So you get that. So I showed you like full in your video, and Canva is nice too. Like if I wanted to do something about Daytona Beach, so I'm sure they have it for Atlanta in Canva, I can go under videos in Canva, and sometimes I'll put a video over here, like aerial drone view of our beaches. They have wonderful videos in Canva.
Oh,
So it
really?
does, oh my gosh, yeah, you got to get in Canva. Even the free version I know has it. To make your videos a little more spicy sometimes, like on some of these you can see, these are all videos. This anything, I think they are. I get them from Canva. That's where I'm getting these all from. Let's see. Okay, that's a photo. But those are all my B-rolls. And you hopefully understand that. You just put it over just to make it a little more exciting, you know, if it's appropriate, obviously not for this video. So I put, I use Canva a lot for my B-rolls, whether it be a video or a photo. And I showed you how you can speed this up if you want to. This one I didn't. You can see it still says normal and there's no image of a rabbit there. Because I was trying to keep the video somewhat a couple minutes long. And then I do the transition. Well, sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, and then I'm out. And then so you
transition.
Yeah, that's that transition. So that's that down. So we're about media, then we have audio, video, the titles, backgrounds. I don't really do much with. Then the transition, that's this right here. Like you can play with these. Depends what type of video I'm doing, what kind of this one I didn't put anything. I probably edited something out. But if I did, like you could do a transition like that. You don't always need one, because I might have just edited something out and maybe I was trying, you can't even hardly tell I cut something, you know, when you look at the video. And I still put music behind me. It's just really, really low right there. And then I have my music playing out. Yeah. So I use all of these. I use Canva for anything I want to put text over or something. but the titles come in handy because you definitely want to have your phone number, so, you know, a way for people to contact you. I said, put down here, and then I like to put my website or whatever you have. That's just how I set it up. So if I think, did you say you're already doing videos or you're getting ready to?
So I've done a lot of footage. There's my
Good. That's something though.
I I record a lot of footage that I will attempt to do my iVideos sometime between
Oh,
today and tomorrow. I do have some where I've driven through different neighborhoods and communities.
okay.
Um, I am going to take advantage of the Canva and
Absolutely.
pull some some area footage to add
Mhm.
to it.
Okay. Yeah, you'll love. Oh, once I discovered that, I literally just put in Daytona Beach under videos or something. I'm like, what? It was crazy. It was great. So then, okay, so if you have any questions when you get going, you know, just reach out to me. I'm here for you. So now you're all done with your video. Well, you want to get it to YouTube. So you will have to have a name for it. You could this one already has a name. This is the same name. It pops into the YouTube title. Of course, once you're on YouTube, you can rename it. It doesn't matter. But I just for pretty much knew I was going to name that on my YouTube, so I just name it that.
Okay.
And then once you can go over here to the top right, and there's a couple things you can do. I don't I don't do any of those. I always just export the file.
Okay.
There's the name, and then I say next, and now you could change something or name it still there. Again, I just dump it on my desktop and hit save. And it'll show you, it'll keep showing you how much longer you have. And then when it's done, if you choose to put it on your desktop, once it's there, it'll pop up a message saying it's done. Because sometimes I'll do that and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a minute, and I'll go work on something else. I'll forget, and then it'll leave this message up here that it's done exporting it until you click off of it. So that's nice. Or if you forget, like, or maybe you want to come back, you're saving it, you can come back and you can export it this way too. You just click on this little dial, share project, file, same thing. You just click next. Where do you want to save it? And that's pretty much it. And then once you have it on your desktop, I then upload it to YouTube. Because I know I think for some reason, I don't know why, I knew it happened. I think I had to hook my YouTube up to it or something, and I just didn't feel I was in control enough. Because you see how it says YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
I don't know. I never did it that way. Maybe you'll discover it. But I just like, let me just put it on my desktop. Then I'll upload it to YouTube only, not Facebook. And I feel I have more control over the situation. And then once you get on YouTube, of course, you know, you want to have your titles and your description. And again, Canva comes in good there too, because your thumbnail is like a stop sign. You want to make sure when you get that video on YouTube, that people click on it to watch all your amazing work. And that's usually the thumbnail and the title of the video. Do you
So
have any?
Veronica, I do.
Good.
When you first started, did you freestyle the whole shoot, or did you have some type of verbiage going across a screen somewhere?
Oh, like a script? I've tried everything. It's a
Yes.
great question. Yeah, I bought Big View, I think it's called. And I tried the scripts, and I felt like
It
I'm
didn't
just
come
not good at
across
reading script.
natural.
Yeah, I was like, and so here I am. And I tried to act lively, and I'm like, that's not working. So then I would do a video and I make a mistake. I'm like, oh, darn. And I would stop it for some reason and then start over. I'm like, no. So now I do a video. If I make a mistake, I'll be like, so I can see myself so I can cut it out easier. And then I start again, I go. And if you're looking to move to Daytona Beach, you know, then I just do it again, but I don't stop the camera anymore. And I do because I don't want to forget key points sometimes. I always like to talk about something I definitely know, but say I'm making a video and there's 5 things and I really want to make sure, I'll put it, you know, on a notepad, and I'll be talking to my camera, wherever it is, and I'll finish the first sentence or whatever. And I'll be like, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll be like, I pause so I know I can cut the film. And then I'll look at my notes. It's still filming me. Okay. And so also, you know what I mean? And then I cut that where I'm looking at the notes. It's way easier. That way you don't forget. But scripts, I have seen people do it. It seems like they're just less natural. And you can't put as much energy into it because you don't want to be like, and so people will be like, oh my God, I'm falling asleep. You got to act overly happy almost. And then you just look normal happy. It's weird. Like I don't, my daughter calls it my YouTube voice. She's like, you had your YouTube voice.
So that's what I felt when I was doing footage yesterday and this morning. So I did a few this morning trying to get prepared. And I felt like I was reading a script. Yeah, I sounded like I was reading a script. And when I put it away and just freestyled, I made a lot of errors, but it sounds so better and clear. And I figured there was some way to cut out where I messed up. So your advice is just to keep going.
Yeah, don't stop. And you'll learn because you're going to make it easy. And that's why my editing, I think, is much quicker than it was obviously when I started, when I don't stop the camera all the time. The only time like that one is because I was driving to location to location. That's why I had so many little clips. But now if I did a video, like next time I do a video right here, I'll just keep talking and then I'll look over at my notes, or sometimes it's even on my laptop because I usually have my laptop, you'll see in the corner. And then I look over and then but I always take that pause, be like, because you got to remember to cut
Look at all this footage.
Oh my gosh. I am so proud of you though. You're doing so good. I mean, so many people are so afraid. And the one thing, yeah, I think you said something when you're telling me about when you're doing your scripts and not. Yeah, just the secret, because you want to have that energy. Because did you ever watch somebody and you're like, oh my God, this is painful. I can't watch another second. You know,
I do.
Because they're just so boring. You're like, what?
And I find that I don't like the fluff in the beginning.
No, don't do that.
If it doesn't get to the point
So
soon, I'll go somewhere else. So
yeah,
I try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, just they say, and that's what I try to do, and I did that in the beginning. I'm like, hey, I'm Veronica, I'm a great realtor, and I work here. Nobody cares. Especially if they're binge watching 30 videos and you say that 30 times. I'm like, really? I just start like I'm in the middle of a conversation. So I was at the beach I'm at the beach today, and boy, is the weather great. Like we already having a conversation. Like what? Oh, I guess we're already at the beach, you know? Like I just start like we're talking. I don't introduce myself anywhere at the beginning. And
do you recommend a separate intro video and just leave it there if they want to know who I am or what I do other than what's on my page, my channel?
I think you could do that. I had one before and I took it down. Then I have an agent I have a membership, and she's in my membership, and she lives here in town. She has a beautiful home on the river, and she wanted to do one. I said, I'll do one. It's like 30 seconds. It's on my channel now. If you're not subscribed to it, you see it. But I really need to do a new one because the lighting's so dark. The sun was behind us. So it made me dark. But I could, I still got 80 some views, and I just put up a few weeks ago. It's people can see my full body shot. They can see I'm not a size 2 because it's like I'm standing in her yard with the river behind me. And I'm like, 30 seconds, YouTube's not going to push it out. There's no way they can make money on a 30-second video. That's why they like their videos like at least 8 minutes or longer, they say. So but you got to keep their attention. So, it's good. But I think your first few videos that you really want to do, talk about something you really, really know. Have you lived in Atlanta for a while?
Yes, since 98. Actually, my first video is going to talk about my choices of the cities I think that I like most that I've lived in.
Yeah, you don't even have to have a script because you know it. And if there's certain things like, oh, I don't want to forget a city, have it on a notepad. And when you think you're done, look down. Oh, I forgot to add, South Daytona. Also, South Daytona is a beautiful, now you added it. And even if you have to like put it in, you can
drag it and drop it.
Yeah, you can move it somewhere. You can like, oh, South Daytona is supposed to be up here. You can always move it before. It's super easy to just bounce around, moving these around. Yeah. But yeah, I would just do notes and just freestyle it. And then, yeah, I've tried everything because I was just like, but it never works if I try to memorize. I'm like, oh, they worded that so well. I'm like, I can't just talk about it.
Because I did write down exactly what you said and tried to make it my own and read it, and it just wasn't working for me.
Yeah. I've done it with others too in the beginning. So everyone does it, yeah, like if you haven't, do a pros and cons of Atlanta, that'll be huge. Even if others have done it, still do it. And of course, the cons, you put a positive spin, like it's super hot here, but we have AC,
Right.
And just write your bullet list down. Even if you take like my pros and cons, just write like, the cons, we have bugs, it's humid, I forget what the other cons are. It's hot. But the pros are we have the beach. Traffic. Yeah, traffic for us. But we have the beach, you have a lot of great stuff up there. And then you can just talk about, like I can talk off freely off the top of my head how gorgeous our beaches are here. And I'm sure you can talk about, off the top of your head, something wonderful about Atlanta.
Yeah, I've been here a while, so I know I've lived all over, so that's another good pro for me.
Yeah, you can
So
compare some.
I actually experienced it myself, so it's nothing I read, is what I've experienced.
And that's good too. They like your personal, like I've been there, I've done that. This is what I felt when I moved here or something like that. Sometimes I go to another city. I'm actually like, I've done Fort Lauderdale. I went down to visit some friends. I'm like, I'm going to do a pros and cons of Fort Lauderdale. I don't really put Fort Lauderdale down, but of course Daytona Beach always wins, right?
Right.
So if you go somewhere else in Georgia, or I even done it in California, and I'm going to Everglades. Next week, I'm going to take my camera down there and see if I can do. Sometimes I don't want to because I'm like, oh, I don't really have time. I'm not down here long. I want to kind of enjoy my vacation. But if I get down there, it's just another way for people to see that, what's down by Miami and the Everglades compared to living in Daytona. But the Fort Lauderdale one I compared Fort Lauderdale to Daytona, and I sold a condo because of that. They said they were literally comparing if they wanted to live in Fort Lauderdale or Daytona Beach, and they found that video, and that's the video that earned me like $15,000. It happens all the time. If it wasn't for
Wow.
that video, I might not have had that sale. And I'm sure others, so
Right.
just, yeah, as long as it's good quality content, and you're providing great information and you're getting to the point, you can't lose.
I love it,
Yeah,
Veronica. I love it.
I'm so glad I met you.
You're so awesome. I'm so glad found you. I don't know how I found you, but I found you
It's
and
fate.
I subscribed and I came right back to you to figure out how I was going to set up my page. So
Oh.
thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
What kind of camera you use?
I use I have my talking head one.
Okay.
One of the cameras I use is this Canon. I love it. It has a flip screen. So anytime I have a video where I'm sitting with this as the backdrop, it's this camera. You got to be careful you don't look into this. You got to look into this because people can see. That's a huge no-no. Always don't look at yourself because you can tell. And then I have a little tripod. I put it on and I have a box. I just keep it set up so it's easy to go. That's my Canon. It's great lighting. And I use that. If I'm out, when I do my outside ones, driving around, if I'm in my car, I like my GoPro 8 because it's a wide lens and you cannot help but to be in the shot. Because nothing worse, you film a video and you find out half your head's cut off, right? The GoPro's, the lens is so wide, you're guaranteed to be in it. And then I have a GoPro 7 black. That you have to have the noise cancellation thing on it. It's called the dead cat. So if you were to buy one, when I started, that's all I could get was that. If you were to buy one, I would say the GoPro 8, because it's really lightweight, easy to carry around. This is nice, but it's really heavy. I mean, if you get both, that's great.
So when you're driving, you have the GoPro set up in your car?
Yeah, I do. I have it one of these stands. It's not this stand, but it's a stand, like it's not moving. I do that, or I have it on my dashboard.
Okay. I was gonna use my phone.
A lot of people do. And if that's,
Yeah.
well, See, a lot has changed in 2, 3 years. It's only been 2, 3 years, and a lot has changed since I started. Even the cameras on our phones weren't that good 2, 3 years ago. They were fine, but now to start, I'd probably be using my phone because it is really good now. I just have this other camera equipment and it's just a habit for me. So that's why I use, I have it, might as well use that. But I bought like a drone. I don't need to do that. Plus you can get those drone photos on Canva for free. If,
Oh,
yeah. So, and the drone is like, it's a whole nother learning thing. I mean, it's up to you if you like. I was so nervous I was going to run it into a tree or some phone
no,
wires
I
or
don't want.
something.
I prefer to go to Canva.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm like, so actually I had somebody that wanted to buy it. My old broker sold it to him for a couple $100. It was a win-win. And yeah, I would just keep it real simple. And just remember, you're not a videographer, you're a real estate agent. And that's what you do best. To let people
Absolutely.
know
And just be
all about Atlanta.
myself and be natural.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you look great on camera right now.
Thank you, thank you,
So,
thank you. And
yeah.
happy that hair day for the morning hat.
Thank you. Well, I can't wait to meet you in person someday. Reach
I
out.
will. I'll come to Florida.
Oh, awesome. Or I'll be
I
up
love to
there.
travel. I'll see what type of trainings down that way and
Okay.
make a business trip.
Okay. Well, sounds great. It's nice meeting you. Reach out
Thank you so
anytime.
much.